Good afternoon, learners. I'm Usha Rana, Associate Professor, School of Gender and Development Studies, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Today we will discuss about the feminist alternatives, which comes under BGS 002. After this discussion, we will able to understand, explain alternative feminist approach, particularly standpoint theory, examine the key principles of alternatives methodologies, and analysis the process of doing science as a feminist. Feminist critics of science and technology have revealed that the process of producing knowledge often carries deep patriarchal biases. This realization has led efforts aimed to making science more inclusive, both by bringing in a voice that were historically excluded and by challenging a male-centered assumption in scientific theories and institutions. There is some feminist alternatives offer a different approaches, like a feminist empiricist argues that science can achieve better results by using traditional methods more rigorously, while being careful not to ignore gender and social differences. Another feminist postmodernist approach, however, they question the idea that the science can reveal absolute truth, emphasizing that knowledge is shaped by the context and perspective. Another feminist standpoints theories recognize the power of science to uncover truth, but believe that research should begin from the experiences of marginalized groups who are better positions to offer critical insights. This class focus on feminist alternative that, as Abhasor explained, recognize the democratic potential of a science while also acknowledging its role in reinforcing racial, gender, and class inequalities. Such an approach moves beyond the critic to suggest way in which science can help to challenge prejudice and promote social transformation. It emphasizes the importance of epistemologies, theories of knowledge, and methodology, the tool and approach for inquiry in rethinking how science is done. Yes, it's very important. We need to rethink the all process from beginning to end. Alternative feminist approach. Conventional sciences typically view reality as an objective phenomena that exists independently and is awaiting discovery. Realism, with a strong emphasis on its capacity to predict outcome. Positivism, yes. One common example lies a demographic and the economic survey that gender large-scale quantitative data. However, feminist scholars have criticized such methods, arguing that they often marginalize women's experience and contributions. Nonetheless, feminists have also strategically utilized the quantitative data to highlight gender inequalities. For instance, the Census of India revealed a decline in the female sex ratio, promoting widespread the feminist activism against practice like a female infanticide and feticide. This activism eventually lead to enactment of national legislation prohibiting sex-selective practices. Similarly, awareness of sex and gender disparities in medical research have driven reform, leading to the more inclusive studies that account for the difference between the women and men, notably in the heart disease research. In the early 20th centuries, several scholars work like a Fawcett, like a Clinton and other work on the great apps influenced by the gender stereotypes and nutrition and patients. However, their groundbreaking research shifted the primatology's focus from male aggression to social cooperation and survival skill. challenging traditional anthropological views significantly, transforming the discipline despite the resistance from male peers. In 1970 and 1980s, women entering in archaeology challenged the traditional interpretation by asking gendered questions and re-examining evidence like skeleton remain the basketry. Their feminist perspective reshaped the archaeological method and theories. These developments sparked debate, while most feminists and scientists reject the idea of an inherently different women's way of knowing. Some argue women approach science distinctively. Now we will talk about the another approaches or perspective within feminist studies, ecofeminism. The radical feminist perspective of the ecofeminism emerged in the West during the 1970s, highlighting connection between the women and nature. Some stance for the ecofeminism celebrate a so-called feminism principle suggesting that women's biological and life experience provide them with a holistic ecological knowledge that male lack. The Maria, for example, construct a women's capacity to create a life with the men's construction of machines. Along with Vandana Shiva, she argued that the capitalist patriarchal war system rests on the colonizations of women, indigenous people, and nature. Shiva envisioned the substance-based of natural, harmonious society rooted in women caring value. However, this form of ecofeminism often lends toward the biological essentialism and portraying the rural women as a homogeneous group and overlooking social diversity such as caste and class. Now we will talk about the standpoint theory. Rose and Harding argue that the knowledge is shaped by how the evidence is sought to interpreted, rooted, and specific historical and social contexts. They emphasize that marginalized group through their lived experience develop insight into the both their own lives and those of dominant groups as their survival demands an understanding of broader social order. In contrast, privileged individuals often take a social stature for granted and remain unaware of marginalized reality. For instance, a domestic worker knows for more about her employer's life than vice versa. This research beginning from the perspective of women, the elite, or the other subordinate group can offer a deeper, more comprehensive understanding of society, highlighting biases inherited in dominant group viewpoints. Standpoints are not merely about one's location but are developed through the collective experience and struggles against social and economical subordination. Situated knowledge emerge from the personal narratives and shared struggle, leading to a deeper understanding of how social structure are created and maintained. Even those not marginalized can contribute critically to this process. The concept of situated knowledge highlights how the researcher perspective are shaped by social and gendered power relations. Marginalized researchers being both insiders in their fields and outsiders socially are better positions to identify biases in research practices. Feminist standpoints thus aim not just to reflect women's experience but to produce a new critical approaches to knowledge and nature as a feminist archaeologist successfully demonstrated in 1980s. The key issues is not about a supposed the female way of knowing, but about the constructing science through the feminist methodology. Soumi Krishna drawing on a standpoint theory and the idea of generated space, introduced the concept of genderscapes, while the landscapes record human activities over the generations. As a Tim Gore concept of text space suggested, they often mask gender deficits. In the Apatli Valley, Arunachal Pradesh, men manage the forest irrigation while women labor in a paddy fields under subordinate conditions. Despite the ecological balance admired by the conservationists, Krishna highlighted how the trends reflect the deep gender inequalities. Thus, the feminist research critically examines how the knowledge, labor, and environmental practice are shaped by socially heritage. So, Krishna's concept of gender gaps helps reveal the complex, context-specific nature of gender space, where the marginalized groups are subordinate or exploited. Understanding this space requires a new approach. Nexus approach considers gender, age, place, ethnicity, religion, caste, class by using creative ethnography, case studies, innovative visual narratives, tool, sensitive genderscapes can uncover the hidden power dynamics embedded in the landscape. They expose how the patriarchal structure shape both the private sphere of the family life and the public domain of work and society. Key principle of alternative methodology. Feminist alternatives in a science require not just more women practitioners or the gendered focused topic, but fundamentally alternative methodology. Modern science itself in evolving, the Nelson and the Wiley's argues that the challenges today is not removing the value from science, but understanding which contextual factor can positively shape scientific practice and recognizing that scientific goals and standards are dynamic and negotiable. Thus, the feminist science is not about doing a traditional science better or ultimately objectivity, but finding the context-specific feminist approaches. Drawing from the feminist archaeology, the Wiley have identified the key shared of commitments, relevance of the real world concern, experimental grounding in the lived reality, accountability to the subjects and the communities, studied and the reflectively about one's own biases. These principles guide a range of feminist methodologies aiming to transform knowledge production. In India, women's and gender rights movements have driven research focusing on the social and economically excluded groups such as poor, Dalits, Adivasis, gender minorities, and women. While the experiences of marginalites have been well documented, limited attention to the practices of dominant group has hindered the broader goal of transforming the institutional that sustain a systematic discrimination. Globally and in India, participatory methods have been widely adopted in the development field, but these do not automatically take care of interest of stakeholder. So various gender analysis framework have evolved to deepen the grassroots participation. Feminists have to emphasize the lived experience of the marginalized, facilitating their participation in identifying their own priorities and agenda. Several initiatives by the voluntary, not for the profit organization have adopted feminist approach and methods. Kerala's remarkable Kundumshiri collectives of the poor women and Karnataka formal Mahila Samakhya program are example of large-scale initiatives deeply influenced by accountability is about being ethical and reciprocal. This is especially important in medical research. Reflectivity underpins all these commitments required research always to be critically self-reflective, sensitive, and flexible to the concern as these areas. These commitments have wide applicability in feminist research and action. Feminist standpoints and commitment to reveal the grounded experience, accountability, and reflectability enable to research to do science differently, to do science as a feminist. There are some case studies, so how the women did science differently. There is a Meghna Kelkar, the agriculture scientist. She conducted feminist research on the soil management to villages of the western Maharashtra, comparing the local knowledge with the official soil survey, acknowledging her potential or possibility as a woman in a scientist and state worker. She adopted a feminist ethnography using a participant observation, narratives analysis, critical reflectivity, through the daily farming participation, language interpretation, and sensitive engagement with the caste and gender dynamics. So she understood the local soil difference in scientific classification. Her research exposed the gendered, emotional, and structural dimension, often ignored by the conventional science. Kelkar's work highlighted the need to critically rethink the agriculture research institutes and methodologies, emphasizing that scientific practices must be socially contextual and grounded to be the truly transformative. Another case study about the Annamani. Annamani, an Indian geologist and meteorologist, revolutionized the meteorological instruments in the post-independent India, defining societal norms. She pursued a physics and studies under the Nobel laureate C.V. Raman. Unlike many contemporaries, Mani emphasizing indigenous scientific development, standardizing and manufacturing weather instruments domestically at the Indian Meteorological Department. Her meticulous celebrations, models and data accuracy set new benchmark. She also contributed significantly to the solar radiation, ozones, and wind energy studies by advocating a data-driven policy and promoting women in science. Mani's approach combined technical consensus with a systematic reform and reshaping India's scientific infrastructure. Another case study about the Mehtab Banji. Mehtab Banji, a renowned Indian meteorologist, redefining science through the community-centered research. Rather than limiting her work to laboratories, she integrated scientific inquiry with the grassroots social work, addressing malnutrition in the rural India at the National Institute of Nutrition. She led pioneering studies linking the micronutrient deficiencies to the developed issues. Later, she worked with one charitable trust. She implemented a sustainable nutrition program combining agriculture, health, and education. Banji's approach stood out by translating research into the real world impact, empowering women and children through the evidence based interpretation. Her work exemplify how the science can be a tool for social equality and public health transformation. Another case study about the Janki Amar. Janki is a pioneering of Indian botanist, broke the colonial and gender barriers about the integrating traditional knowledge with modern Christogenics. At the time when the few women entered the science, she earned a doctorate in botany from the US and made significant contribution to plant breeding and the chromosomes studies. Her work on the sugarcane hybrid helped to improve crop yield in India. Unlike many peers, she emphasized indigenous biodiversity, advocating for the protection of native plant species. She combined rigorous scientific research with ecological awareness, laying the groundwork for the conservation of science in India. Her legacy is a blend of innovation, resilience, and environmental foresight. So, with these four studies, we can understand how the women scientists have their own perception and they keep their vision towards to understanding the realistic or the natural or which is belong to the particular phenomena. This way of understanding makes studies more sensible, more reliable, more empirical for all the society. So how? And we can understand how and why the women participation should be enhanced with these case studies, because women way to understanding, women way to knowing the things is different to male centric knowledge, where society are existing lot of knowledge which are male centric, male understanding to create a knowledge, to create a scientific understanding to the world. But we as a counter need to women understanding how the women way to knowing different to male, because which also exist as a male understanding. So there we can talk about the how the feminist approach to the science and technology challenge to enter the assumptions of objectivity and neutrality that often observe the underlying male biases. Yes, that is a prejudice and male biases which existing with our structure or in a research, in the science, in technology, we need to address with the feminist approach. If we will not address them with the feminist approach, their male domination will be more and the biases will be higher. So we need to address. True gender inclusivity in the science is not achieved merely by increasing the number of women in lab or focusing on women-centric issue. Yes, that is very important, but by the transforming the very foundations of how the science is conceptualized and practiced. That's very important. Feminist science promotes reflectivity, inclusiveness, commitment, and social justice, valuing diverse methods and acknowledging the lived experience of marginalized community. This is very important as we talk about the standpoint perspective or standpoint theory. There we always need how the marginalized people are thinking on the basis of their class, caste and gender, what is their understanding and how they can be the part of scientist research. It advocates from the more democratic and ethical practice of a science, one that is accountable, responsible to societal needs. This transformation requires the practice a continuous interplay between the critical theory and the real world engagement that redefine what science can and should be. Yes, this is a challenge in front of all academics and the scientific society. We need to address the biases, we need to add the gaps which existing in the study or the research by new perception, new standpoints theory, new way to study the social phenomena, the scientific facts, the natural requirement, agriculture practices, all what is existing, we need to address with the new way to understand a new perception which can be the more helpful for the mankind, for society and each one. So this way we can change our existing biased practices which are creating hurdles, or new practices can be more supportive, more helpful to be developed. There are few references if you want to go further. So you can go through these references which can help you to go more insights. Thank you very much.